My stepmom manipulated my dad into kicking me out for my pregnant stepsister. Years later, he was homeless and begging for my help. It started at dinner with my father, my stepmother Cecilia, and my stepsister Dawn. My father cleared his throat and said they needed to discuss something important with me. Before he could even finish his sentence, Cecilia jumped in. She said they needed my room for Dawn and her husband Robert since she was pregnant. I actually laughed at first, thinking it was some kind of weird joke. I've lived in that room my entire life. My mom and I painted the walls together when I was 10. All of my memories are in that room. But when no one else laughed, I realized they were serious. I tried to stay calm. I reminded them that I had been contributing to household expenses for the past 2 years while attending college. I was paying rent, helping with utilities, even buying groceries sometimes. Cecilia's face turned this scary shade of red. She slammed both hands on the table, making all the plates jump, and stood up so fast her chair fell backward. She pointed her finger in my face and started screaming about how I was being selfish and ungrateful, how Dawn needed the space more than me, how I was old enough to live on my own. My father just sat there the entire time, pushing his food around his plate like it was the most interesting thing in the world. Dawn had this little smirk on her face. I realized she'd known about this. They'd probably planned it all out before dinner. I guess I should give some background here. My mom passed away when I was 12 after a long battle with cancer. She was the kind of mom who packed surprise notes in my lunch and never missed a single baseball game. After she died, my dad was lost. He threw himself into his work at the law firm, and I barely saw him. Then he met Cecilia at some work function when I was 13, and they got married less than a year later. Dawn came to live with us, and suddenly I had a new family whether I wanted one or not. Things were okay for the first few months. Cecilia tried to play happy families, decorating the house and making big Sunday dinners, but it didn't last long. She started making these little comments at first. How messy teenage boys are, how much space I took up, how Dawn needed more room for her things. Then the comments got more direct. She'd talk about how I was old enough to live on my own, how I was holding Dawn back from having the childhood she deserved, how I was a burden on their finances despite my dad's good job at the law firm. I tried to make it work. I really did. I kept my head down, studied hard, got good grades. When I turned 16, I got a part-time job at the local grocery store and started contributing to household expenses, even though I didn't have to. I thought maybe if I proved I wasn't a burden, things would get better. They didn't. If anything, Cecilia got worse. She'd go through my room when I was at school, claiming she was cleaning but really just looking for reasons to complain. She'd turn off the hot water while I was in the shower, saying I was wasting utilities. She even started scheduling family dinners for times she knew I'd be at work, then complained to my dad about how I was never around for family time. Last night, when I tried to reason with them, pointing out that I paid rent and helped with bills, Cecilia completely lost it. She started throwing my dinner plate around, screaming about how ungrateful I was after everything they'd done for me. Dawn just sat there with this smug look on her face, rubbing her belly. I looked at my father, silently begging him to say something, to defend me, to be my dad, but he wouldn't even look at me. He just kept staring at his plate, occasionally nodding at whatever Cecilia was saying.